Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship game, AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Saturday, high noon on ABC. It is Oklahoma State at 9-3. It is Texas at 11-1. Texas is favored by 14.5 points. Frankly, Texas needs a lot to go right. A lot to go right this weekend if they want to get in the playoff. The College Football Playoff Committee, in its latest batch of rankings, did them no favors. Oregon wins. Washington wins. That team is obviously Washington wins. But Oregon wins. I think they're in. Florida State wins. I think they're in.
Yeah.
Texas wins. They need help. That's just where we're at. So I kind of did my whole preview here yesterday and then tore it up a little bit.
Okay.
Upon seeing the rankings, and we could talk through why. These teams didn't play during the regular season, but I did find some fun stats about this matchup that maybe can help guide you as you are making your Run the Board pick. Again, playruntheboard.com or just going out to our website, verballers.com, if you want to get in on this week's pick'em pool, playing for the $100 Pristine auction credit and the $200 Amazon gift card. Just throwing it out there again.
Oh, I love it.
Mike Gundy, 7-3 straight up against Texas over the last 10 years. In the last 6 meetings of this game, the margin of victory has been 7-8, 7-6, 3-3. It's exclusively been a one-score game over that span. Also, Oklahoma State won this game last year. You may recall on the back of Spencer Sanders, had something like 391 yards passing. Also a defense that picked off Quinn Ewers 3 times. Mm-hmm. So, that being said,
different year, different game.
We've been saying that.
Different location.
We've been saying,
of course.
You're picking up what I'm putting down here.
Yeah.
We've been saying it all season that this is a different Texas team. It feels tougher, feels more balanced, feels like the defense is more legit. Is this Texas team different enough to cover a 14.5 point spread against Oklahoma State? They have not covered a spread that large since back in 2014. Is this Texas team different enough? And I would also posit this is a Texas team that needs to pad its stats. They need to pad stats.
What is the big advantage that you see Oklahoma State having, if any, in this game?
None.
I kind of disagree. I think Mike Gundy is an advantage over Steve Sarkisian until proven otherwise.
Other than Mike Gundy. Okay. Other than Mike Gundy, which I think spoken to.
Yeah.
Other than Mike Gundy, nothing.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think they have a better running back currently because of Ollie Gordon's health as opposed to Jonathan Brooks, unfortunately. So that's an advantage. Doesn't mean the offensive line is better. The offensive line has been pretty good since the slow start, Oklahoma State's. They've had one pretty horrific week where Texas hasn't, and that was against UCF, I believe, right? Where they lose like 45-3. They just couldn't get anything going.
After Bedlam.
Bedlam, a letdown moment, of course. Texas hasn't separated itself consistently from clearly lesser teams, which is, again, something I'd like to see from playoff caliber teams. You look at the back half of their schedule, you're dealing with Malik Murphy in some of these games, not Quinn Ewers, but like they didn't separate from TCU in the end. They didn't separate from Houston in the end. And Texas would be much more of a no-brainer here if they had. Now, the problem with Oklahoma State is, one, we're into almost December. So we're talking about winter wonders. They do not have that, whereas Texas does. Texas has receivers that are problems. Texas has an offensive line that's a huge advantage. Oklahoma State's defense isn't incredible. Colin Oliver is, but as a defense, they're not incredible. So the number, once again, in the second we're doing this show,
14.5. It's been fluctuating between 14.5 and 15, somewhere right around 2 touchdowns.
I don't think I see them covering. I see them comfortably winning this game, but I see it in like the 10-11 point range, similar to how you saw the Washington-Oregon game going. Like there is a team that is more talented, it has more depth, but look, I don't think Oklahoma State's winning this game unless, like, what is the over-under of yardage that Ollie Gordon has to have? Like 211 and a half?
It has to be a lot. Yeah, it has to be a lot.
He has to, like, he's going to have to score 3 touchdowns that are of at least 40 or 50 yards for me, for them to win this game. And I don't see that happening. There is still something about Texas and not having that killer instinct. Last week, it was the defense that was pushing the offense forward with all those scoring opportunities and those interceptions.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think there is a certain amount of due that I haven't given to Mike Gundy And I don't know, how many inches away were they from beating Baylor in this game a couple years ago?
Yeah.
I think they're going to have a nice game plan. I think they're going to make plays, but I think that lack of star power at receiver is going to hurt them. I think the lack of consistent pass rush is going to hurt them. 30-20 Texas here.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, you're not wrong to bring up that Texas has played some closer games over the back half of the season.
Yeah.
Since losing to Oklahoma, one-score games against Houston, Kansas State, and TCU, they probably should have lost that K-State game.
Yeah.
Now, they won by 50 last week
And that's a Malik
against
Murphy
Texas
game.
Tech.
Yeah.
Malik Murphy game. Won by 50 last week against Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Clearly, Texas is a playoff caliber team. They have to really try and show it here in this game. The common denominator in all of those close Texas games this year has been good quarterback play on the other side. Now, there's probably some debate over what constitutes good. I've got that in air quotes. Yeah. However, there has not been a singular instance where an opponent has been very lopsided in favor of the run and they hung with Texas. It hasn't happened. And I think that's the worry for me.
Sure.
British comedy legend Alan Bowman needs to be an actual legend here if they want to win this game. And I'm not sure he's got it in him. He's thrown 6 interceptions his last 3 games. He's got more interceptions than touchdowns this season. And Texas is a ball-hawking defense. They've got the 9th most interceptions this season across FBS. It is not a team that goes crazy with the blitz, nor does it need to. They pick their spots. They're very successful when they do so. And I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for that in this game. That, to me, is the difference. That is why I think Texas wins. I think the Pokes defense, in addition, is too prone to big plays. They don't get enough pressure. There's just a lot here working against them. But there is a coaching advantage.
See, that's the thing that worries me. And like if you're dealing strictly with talent, strictly with ceilings, like Texas should win this game 44-17. There is something about the ether of Stillwater and Austin that bothers me. And I hate that it's me making something up essentially, but it's bothersome to me that Mike Gundy finds a way against this team. Maybe he just takes it more seriously in game planning and prep that week. Texas week is something special to him that, maybe his focus waxes and wanes, but I don't know. I hate it. I hate the pick, but I'm going with it.